Hello and good afternoon, guys. Welcome to MK Convenience Brokerage. My name is Mohammed, and in this video, I'm going to explain to you how to fill out a federal information worksheet. Now, a lot of times people ask questions on how to fill out the 1040, what state returns to do, how to do them. I'm going to explain to you step by step what to do. So it's just going to be a quick rundown on what an item is, how do you fill it out, what certain document means, and this is something that I could guarantee you. One of the best softwares for tax preparation I feel so far is going to be Pro Series. Pro Series is very good when it comes to like filing taxes, especially if you're a first time user and you have no idea what the tax filing, how to do it, and what needs to be expected. So that comes down to very helpful when it comes to like using Pro Series. There's other softwares as well. There's Drake. I think Tax Act, I believe, is one of them. Drake software is one of them. There's other software out there. But hands down, I personally believe that compared to the other softwares, this software is actually very good. But it all depends on what type of person you are, how you're more comfortable in, what software you need, and what software you think you could be better. So what we're going to do, I'm going to explain to you the basics of filing basic software, like how to fill out certain forms, where to put a certain information, and go about from there. Okay, so whenever you open a Pro Series software, and this is the basic return, and obviously it's for 2024, you're going to see this on the screen. You're going to see the federal information worksheet. You're going to see the quick zoom to client status, quick zoom to form 1040. Obviously, this is just a brand new return. Nothing's filled out. We will go over a dummy return. So for last name, I could put down John. First name, let's put down Smith, right? It says Smith. Middle initial, if they have it. If not, then you can leave it blank. Social, so let's just make up a social. All right. Occupation, let's say this person does mechanic. Date of birth, whatever date of birth is, so let's give him 10/10/1980. All right. Date of death, again, this item, when they ask you for the date of death, is going to be when the person passed away. More or less likely, you'll put that for your spouse. When we have spouses that are like passed away or whatever the case is, then you would do that. And if not, then obviously you leave it blank. As you can see, the age is automatically calculated by the program. It shows that he's 44 years old. Now, email address, again, you put down the email address. So let's say John Smith. Wait, did I say Smith? What was his name again? Yep, John Smith at yahoo.com. His work phone number, if he has it, cell phone, whatever it is, you can put it down. So let's just say he only has a cell. 987. Okay, that's his cell. Now, best contact phone number, you could put down, obviously, cell. And his cell is going to list right over here, correct? You go on the bottom. Print phone number on the 1040. You could do that. Let's just say yes. Let's just do that. Let's put it up over there. If not, taxpayer work. If you have one of these two options, it'll print it out. Now, if you don't have it, then obviously it's not going to print out. So it's just home and taxpayer's work phone, okay? So you could just leave it blank if you don't want it. Print form 1040 SR instead of form 1040. You don't have to do the SR form. Again, it's another situation when you print out the 1040 SR. For now, it's always going to be a no, so you leave it blank. Majority of the time, it's going to be no. Address, whatever the address is. So let's put down 123 anywhere street. City is going to be whatever city is. Let's say Queens. State, let's say New York. Zip code, I don't know, 11. Apartment number, let's say 1E is apartment number. Gotta go on the bottom. Foreign address. Check this box to use foreign address. Sometimes people live in another state, like should I say another country? They live in I don't know, Japan, Korea, North Korea, whatever they are. Right? That's where the foreign address is. Because even if you're in another state or another country, should I say, you still are not exempted from not filing taxes. You're still supposed to be filing taxes. Because you could be making money there, and obviously you're still resident in New York State. You are supposed to be filing taxes. That's what it comes down to. But obviously, again, if you're filing it anywhere in the United States, then you don't have to. Now, this portion is very, very important portion. You're gonna ask the client if he's filing as single, if he's filing as married, filing jointly, if he's filing as married, filing separately, head of household, qualifying survivor spouse. So imagine the question that I was asking on the top. So that if the person passed away, and you see how the Pro Series automatically starts questioning in or whatever, all these errors will come up, and as you see, the errors have just become red. And obviously, these are all the errors that you need to fill out. So if you have a qualifying spouse died in 2022, 2023, a lot of times they'll be treated as a married filing jointly, even though the spouse passed away. So you will have to put all those over there. And enter the qualifying person's name, child's first name, last name, so child social security number. Again, for the person that's qualifying spouse or married filing separately, whatever it is, you have to make sure you put that information down over there as well. Um, and obviously, sometimes you could put the spouse information as well over here. And obviously, if the date of death is over here listed, it will automatically populate on the bottom. But we're gonna, for our argument's sake, we're gonna put single, right? So single person, dependent earned income credit, child and dependent care credit information. Now, if you make a certain amount of income, you don't get certain tax credit. Like for example, if you make more than 120,000, you're only gonna get the child tax credit. You're not gonna get the earned income credit. Earned income credit by year it changes. So let's say if you make 28,000, you're gonna get the earned income credit, right? And you'll get a lot of money from based on that. But if let's say if you make 150,000 and you have 3 kids, you're not gonna make that earned income credit anymore because now you made more than enough and you don't qualify for that credit. And if the system will tell you, it automatically populates for you if you're gonna get the earned income credit, if you get the child tax credit, whatever it is. Make sure whichever child you're trying to claim on the return, make sure that the items are all listed in there. You have to be very careful. Like let's say if you're claiming one child and you're married filing separately, your wife is also claiming the child. You have to double check with that spouse to see who's claiming the child. Because if she claims the child, you cannot claim the child because now you guys are like claiming same child in two different returns, and that's not how it works. So make sure you speak to your spouse, you significant other, whoever's claiming the children, that you agree upon it, saying that this is what's going on. Okay, moving right along. Again, these questions: if the education, tuition, if the let's say if they're paying some type of schoolwork, whatever, this is what it comes down to. If the taxpayer eligible for child tax credit, again, if once you put that information down on top, it's automatically gonna populate to quick zoom over here, and that's how it comes to. So let's say if you quick zoom over here, it's gonna tell you that amounts that are not earned income for the earned income credit and the additional child tax credit. It's just gonna bring you this worksheet. Most of the time, this is gonna be populated based on if you have a child. Oh, where did we go? But since obviously you don't have anything, you don't have to fill that part out. So you don't have to go to quick zoom on anything. It all depends on certain situation. A taxpayer or spouse qualifying child for earning income for another person. Let's put no. Was taxpayer home in the United States for more than half of 2024? I'm gonna put yes, because obviously you have to be in the United States to file taxes more than half the time. Check any that applies. Again, these are questions that applies for you. Social Security card says not valid for employment, and Social Security of the taxpayer or spouse, if married filing jointly, was detained to get federally funded benefits such as Medicare. Again, if these apply to you, then you fill it out. Again, majority of the time you don't have to do it. Certain rare cases you come upon, and then you do have to click it, and it will populate to another screen to ask additional more questions. For this type of tax return for John Smith, single person, you don't have to do that. Moving right along. So this is the prepare code. So again, you're gonna, as a tax preparer, once you go to the Pro Series, once you download it, you have to put certain information in. You have to put your PTIN number. You have to designate yourself with the, like a period number. All that stuff has to be done. You have to put that information down. So that's where the prepare code is gonna be. Now, if not signing as a preparer, you have to file and print it instead. You can put self-prepared. You can put non-paid preparer. Majority of the time, you're gonna click on obviously paid preparer because you're what comes down to, because you're preparing them, and that's why you're gonna file federal return electronically. Okay. Okay, so the cell phone. Okay, see that it already tells me that the cell phone is not right, so I'm gonna correct that later on. It will tell you all of these items that, for example, taxpayer cell phone is valid for electronic filing. The phone number must be in this format, and it tells you how the correction is. Again, this is the same exact thing, but I will go up. Let's say, for example, where it is. Perfect. So let's say 347-720. So now it should be fixed. Okay, so the email address. Now it's telling me the email address is probably, let's do it like this. And now, as you can see, the address is fixed. So it does tell you what the errors are. As you can see, you as my witness, I was able to fix the errors from there. Moving right along. So file federal return electronically and file state or city return electronically. As a tax preparer, you have to file these returns electronically. You have to do it. Unless certain times you cannot do it. For example, I give you an example. Let's say, for example, if you're filing a person's tax return and the person has a special PIN number, but you don't know what the PIN number is. A lot of times, some of the tax preparers are identity theft, victims of identity theft, should I say, or something like that. You need that PIN number from the IRS that gives them every year. If they do not have that, you have to file a paper return, and you have to tell them why you're filing a paper return. Otherwise, you cannot file it. So keep that in mind. That's very important. Electronic form, electronic filing of Form 114, electronic filing of Amendment Form 114. Leave all that blank. You don't have to fill all this information out. Electronic filing of estimated payment. Again, you don't have to fill that out. Automatic practitioner PIN program signed electronically. See, this is what I was talking about before I run down this identity protection PIN. If the IRS and the taxpayer identity protection PIN, enter it here. You need that if they have it. Now, if you do not have it, if you file it, it's going to get rejected from that IRS saying that this person has a PIN. What is it? You're going to go back in again. You're going to put the PIN. Now, if you do not have it, if the taxpayer spouse do not have it, like I said again, you have to do a paper return. But that's the only option because you will not be able to electronic file it unless you find another way. You can speak to the IRS representative that they can find an exemption. Maybe the customer called, you called, then that's the only exception. Otherwise, you have to get the PIN in order to electronic file it. Automatically generate PIN to the last 5 digits of taxpayer social security number, which will I put down. Date PIN entered, you could put down, let's say, March 1st, 2025. That's the date PIN enter. Quick Seam to IRS e-file authenticate statement. Again, you don't have to do that right now. Let's say electronic filing extension or amendment or supersede electronic return. So you could do an amendment as well, or you could do all the items. That does listed over here. It's up to you, whatever the case is. File amended or supersede return. There'll be another video on amendment returns. I don't want to go based on that. That's another option to what you do when you do an amendment. But right now, I'm just showing you guys how to fill out a regular tax return. Okay. Banks. Now, there's 2 options: refund advance, meaning that the IRS could give you the money up front, and you have to be in a special program with these banks, Santa Barbara Tax Products, and you have to go with them. You have to sign in with them. I don't do that personally. What I do is I do direct deposit. I do tell them make sure the information is correct, checking or saving, and then you put down these items: routing number, account number, name of financial institution. What I do is this: if you don't want to make a mistake, you want to make sure everything's correct, I would type the routing number, take a picture, send it to them. I would make sure I verify from them that, you know what, is this indeed your routing number? They state yes in text messages or whatever social media platform you're using them from to file taxes. Same goes with the account number. Once they verify everything and they also have the second pair of eyes, then you could e-file it. The reason why, because sometimes if you make a wrong mistake on account number or routing number, what's going to happen is you're not going to get the refund back, and there's always going to be an issue because the person's going to complain, where's my refund? Refund went in another person's bank account. I have no idea how to get that money back. You probably might have to call the IRS. Like, it's like a whole issue. You don't want to go to that process. I would advise you to you don't even do that. So make sure you do that, what I'm telling you, and go from there. Use electronic funds for withdrawal. Now, if you do owe them the money, correct? You do owe them the money. You're going to click on yes, and you could have an option. Well, obviously, because we haven't really put down, and I'm putting down that he's supposed to get a refund, so automatically just giving an error and over here as well. But for argument's sake, I'm showing you. So let's say, for example, they were owed $500. So payment date of withdrawal, I could put down April 15, 2025. And obviously, amount of withdrawal, I can say $500. So on that day, on that time, they will take out the $500 withdrawals and everything. So that's what you have to do from there. Amendment return, again, if they're doing an amendment return, you go with that part. If not, you just leave it blank. You go on the bottom, additional federal return information worksheet, audit assistant ID theft program if they have it. A lot of times the program will offer you other services such as ID protection program, fraud protection program. They'll give you like stuff like like signing if you want signatures from clients. They give you the first 5 for free. Everything else you're gonna charge you. Whatever the case is, that's up to you entirely. The program itself has multiple options, which I will show you in another video what options they have when it comes to buying the program, and I will tell you which one is which and how to do on that. But that's for another video. Education expenses, again, if they have education tuitions and whatever the case is, then you can put those expenses down. Standard deduction, what is itemized deduction? Hopefully, everyone knows the difference between standard deduction and itemized deduction. I'll give you an example. If you are having a W-2, let's say you're working for a W-2, automatically is going to be standard deduction because there's not really much you could do on a W-2 because W-2 is only going to be limited to like a standard deduction. You cannot even itemize it because the taxes are taken out from the W-2 automatically. But let's say, for example, you had a 1099, you're working for Uber, you're working for Lyft, you're working for some type of car service company or some type of business where you could show more than 12 to 13, 14, $15,000 losses. Let's say you make $100,000 in a 1099, and you could show up to $60,000, $70,000 losses as long as you have receipts and everything else. Yes, you're not going to use itemized deduction. I'm sorry, you're not going to use standard deduction. You're automatically going to use an itemized deduction because it's more than a standard deduction. So the system will read it, obviously would change it according to standard or whatever. But if you want to put a system to like a certain thing, you could do that. You could force it to do it, but I wouldn't recommend it again. Going on the bottom, presidential election campaign. Again, these should be all no. Again, if you don't have a spouse, if you put yo, it's going to give an error like what's going on. But for some reason it didn't. But since you don't have a spouse, you don't have to put down no over here. Again, you can put down no if you're a full-time student. No over here. Let's see. Is taxpayer retired? No permanent residency? No. So you can click on this question over here. So is the taxpayer incarcerated? No. So obviously you're gonna go on the bottom. And part of your non-resident state filing returns. Again, if you could be a resident in, let's say if you live in New Jersey and then you also lived in New York, so you're a part-time resident, so you have to mention that over here as well. Whatever the case is. So I will know, again, you have to go based on every client. So whichever one is part of your resident, whatever the case is, you have to fill that out as well. Client letter information, taxpayer first name solutions. So again, this doesn't apply to you. You don't have to do that. So basically, that's how you fill out a 1040 worksheet. It's very important to fill out every single one of the questions that I stated before. Again, the questions could change based on the status. So you could put down married filing jointly if you put that down, or let's just put that over here. If you put down married filing separately, all that, head of household, qualifying spouse, all that stuff is going to be like changed up as you can see, and it's gonna keep telling you that there's something going on, whatever the case is. So, going from that, when you add a child in it, so let's say for example this guy had a child, right? John, Junior. How about that? Social. I'm gonna make something up. Hopefully, there you go. I can put down John Junior had a son. Did a birth. I don't know. Let's put down 12, 7. 1995. How old is this kid? Oh, shoot. Let's put down maybe 2010. Okay, perfect. 14 years old. Do you see how this becomes right? Qualified child care, dependent care expenses in their current paid in 2024. So you're gonna click on this. Dependent child who live with clients. Again, this is the child that lives with a client. Now, there's other options listed over there. Dependent child who live with client, dependent child who did not live with client, other dependents. So yeah, you could use other dependents like parents, guardians, whatever it is that live with you. You could do that as well. So just keep that in mind. It's only not with kids, but you can also put adults as well. So basically, that's part of the 1040 worksheet. I just wanted to show you the one part as well. And oh, this designee. If you click on this, your information will pop up over here in the designee worksheet. Again, if you're trying to put yourself in that part, if you want to go above and beyond and put your information there, and they contact you as well if they have any questions. This is the part one. Part two, I'm going to show you how to add certain returns, such as your income return. We're going to go on the income. We're going to go one by one on everything. I'm going to go with income. We're going to go with deduction. Then I'm going to go with credits, taxes, payments, and then software and how to e-file and everything. So it's going to be one by one. This is going to be a good lesson. You guys can always pause the video if I'm going too fast, or you can slow the video down if I'm going too fast to explain. If you leave comments in the comment section, I'll try my best to whatever it is. I am not a CPA and I'm not an enrolled agent. I am doing taxes for quite some time, and I'm able to give you guys some sort of advice, some sort of like a navigation of what to do and everything. But again, it all depends on what state you're in, how you're filing it, and what type of stuff that's going on. So just keep that in mind. With that being said, that's about it. Thank you again, guys, for watching this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys have any other questions, comment, concern, please let me know. Let me know in the comment section. I'll try my best to help you guys out as much as possible. Thank you again, guys, for watching this video. I hope you really guys enjoyed it.